Hello and welcome back to the What Leigh Makes podcast. This is episode 2. My name is Leigh and I am your host today. This is my little space of the internet where I discuss my crafting adventures. In this episode I will discuss knitting and sewing, a little bit of crochet and a little bit of painting. I am 27. I live in Warwickshire. I work away from home quite a lot. I'm a support worker with young people. So I am working away. I am in a different location than I was in episode 1. Sorry for the chaos behind me. It is what it is. Today's weather is bright but chilly. It has also rained at some point this morning. But it's quite nice, I think. I like it. I like it when it's bright, but it's cool. I am drinking. I have a coffee. Just that there's a latte sachet. It's just here. And I also have an energy drink. It's just out of shot over there, and it's more likely the energy drink I will be drinking today. I'm sorry I'm quite distracted. I am in work. I am constantly monitoring the cameras. But as I say, I had filmed this episode the other day. I had full makeup on. It was brilliant. I filmed it and I'd spent several days editing it. Really disliked the editing process. And I now have lost the edited file when I've come to upload it. I don't enjoy the editing process, so I'm just refilming the podcast. I still have everything with me as opposed to try and salvage the original shoot of the episode 2, if that makes sense. So today's date is the 7th of March. This is exactly where I am up to because I can't say I am going to cast on this as I did originally because they have now been cast on. So I have no makeup on. This is my face completely bare. I'm really sorry. I'd rather be in full makeup, but it is what it is. I just want to get this filmed again. I will tell you what I'm wearing in my sewing section as a sneak preview. It is a finished sewing item in the last 2.5 months to just over 2 months. I will start with my knitting. I have 2 finished objects that were works in progress in episode 1 and 1 finished objects that you have not seen at all. My first finished objects are very, very bright, very neon green socks. They're not represented. That is probably a more accurate colour. They are just plain vanilla socks. They have a 2x2 rib, a leg of however long, a slit stitch heel flapping gusset construction, and then a rounded toe. Did get carried away on both socks actually, so the toes were decreased very, very, very rapidly. They have been washed and blocked, but they're not they're quite, I don't know. I'm not best pleased with them, but I don't think neon green socks are going to get a whole lot of wear in my wardrobe anyway. So it is what it is. These were cast on in May of 2020 for the Rainbow Sock Chronicles. They are also not the same length. So I will try and stretch this one. Next time I wash it, I'll try and stretch it up a little bit so it matches. They are on Knit Pro blockers. The yarn is Opal Unipart in the neon green colourway. It be linked below. The blockers be linked below. The pattern is adapted from a free pattern King Cole Zig Zag yarn. They were knit on 9-inch circulars, which I think is why I don't love them. I found my tension is very loose on 9-inch circulars as opposed to CPMs. But I don't think neon socks especially neon green socks are going to get a lot of wear either way. Yeah. I then also have the Litmus Cowl by Tudor Rose Handmade that I was working on in episode 1. It is beautiful. I love this pattern so much. It's lovely, it's mindless, but because it's all in stocking stitch, it shows yarn off really nicely too. I did have a little bit of trouble sewing it up. So on my first one, which I discussed, I didn't know how to do provisional cast on. So on this one, I learned to do provisional cast on. I did the crochet provisional cast on, where you crochet a chain and then you knit stitches into it, something like that. So we found to pick off the cast on, and then when I was trying to sew it up, it was very gapey, which I didn't like. Sorry, it's my phone if you heard that. So I've pulled it really tight, but this now gives quite like a bow. But never mind. This was knit in the Tudor Rose Craft Studio. Her shop will be linked below, in the colourways Pewter, which is the grey, and Muted Rainbow. As I'd edited this video and was writing show notes last night, I know that Muted Rainbow isn't currently listed in her shop, but Pewter is. But if you like Muted Rainbow, it's worth just messaging Tracy. Her customer service is wonderful, so she'll more than likely just use them up, to be honest. I love Muted Rainbow. I have another skein of it to do socks at some point. This was knit with 2 100-gram yarns. The scraps have gone into my scrappy blanket. I have a small nugget of Muted Rainbow left, which has gone into my Beautiful Bits box. But I used up pretty much the entire 2 skeins, and it is shorter than I think it's meant to be, and I would like it a little bit longer. So I have washed and blocked this, but I would like it a little bit longer, so I'm going to block it slightly more aggressively next time it gets washed. I love the grey. The grey is really pretty. I hope you can see that. I hope you can see okay. I definitely would prefer it a little bit longer, but never mind. Sorry. I have to say about it. I've knit it with just two 100-gram skeins, and it was originally designed to use with mini skeins. I think it's nice, but I do think I would prefer change, maybe. But I'm glad I tried it. I love this pattern. It's a free pattern on Ravelry by Tudor Rose Handmade. It is well worth checking out. And then my final finished object today for knitting is an item that you haven't yet seen cast on. It is knit in the Toasted Marshmallow colourway by MammaBearYarns, which was a cream with brown speckled fingering weight and a lace weight mohair silk in pale pink. It's absolutely beautiful. I don't know how well it was going to be picked up on camera. You can kind of see that it's got a little bit of pink to it. I really like this. I had used the yarn in episode 1 to knit a holly hat. I can't remember who it's by, but it's in episode 1. And I then washed the hat. I hadn't blocked it as such, but it was washed. And I found that the hat had stretched. So I've sewn some shearing elastic through it. But I wanted to try something with my hair around the neck anyway, because I would like to do sweaters in like fingering and mohair or fingering and alpaca, and I needed to know before I invested in sweater quantities which one I prefer. Sorry, so I wanted to knit another cowl. I did an alpaca version of this in episode 1, so this is just the mohair version. I really like the yarn. I had purchased some to do the holly hat and then decided to do the cowl, but I ran out of yarn for the holly hat, so I had to purchase the second load anyway. I think it's okay. I don't know whether I'm a massive cowl Snood person, to be honest, but it's alright. I'm glad to have got that yarn used. I have the tiniest nugget of the mohair left. Don't know what I'm going to use it for yet. So that is that. I don't know if I'm a huge fan of either alpaca or mohair right now, but never mind. We'll see. So that is that item. I then have a hoe. This is a pair of Halloween socks from October 2020. It is kept in my bag by the Tudor Rose Craft Studio. Can't remember what year this bag was released, but it obviously isn't in the shop at the moment. I have one sock finished because I needed to. It was cast on. I needed to finish the sock so that I had the needles free for another cast on, which I'll discuss shortly. Just pop this on. The yarn is King Cole Zig Zag in the Wicked colourway, which is a discontinued yarn, but again, as I have written the show notes already, I have found a website that still stocks it in the UK. Again, it is adapted from a King Cole pattern, a King Cole sock pattern that was free with the purchase of zigzag yarn. There's a 2x2 rib, again, however long for the leg, a slip stitch, heel and flap and gusset construction, and a rounded toe. I knit this on 2.5mm needles and DPNs, and I much prefer the tension. Love the colours of this. Reminds me of Halloween. Much for attention, they are snug, or it is snug. I have tried it on, but I'm hoping it'll stretch out over time, and once I finish the other one, they will be washed and blocked before I wear them anyway. So I'm hoping that they sort of ease a little bit. Love these. Absolutely love these. So that is a hoe. It will be left now until I have the needles free again. But yeah, love those. There isn't much to say. I think that was everything. I have filmed this episode several times for the original video, and then I've done several starts for this one. I am not editing videos again in a hurry. I hate doing it. And it gets really hard to remember what I've said, because the original video that I shot, I've watched through, and I've cut bits out and rewatched. And then, I started watching the original film, the original video, and then I find it really difficult to remember what I have said and what I haven't said in which video. So I'm hoping I've covered everything in this one that's going up. I also have, I will stay with knitting for the time being. I leads quite nicely into this. I have this project bag by Amelia X Joy on Etsy. It is beautiful. It's cherry blossom print. I have the small and the medium. And I also asked Amelia if she would make me, she doesn't usually take custom requests, but I did ask her a DPN cozy in this same fabric, which she very kindly did. So that was really kind. I adore this. So, DPN cozy. I am knitting a new pair of socks. in West Yorkshire Spinners Florist collection in the honeysuckle and in the honeysuckle and foxglove colourways. I think honeysuckle is the plain. It is not showing on camera properly. It is like a hot pink in reality, but it looks more like an orange there. And the speckled one, I think, is the foxglove. Again, it's not. No, it's not showing accurately. Love this. I am knitting a pair of mid-calf length socks currently, but I also do ankle socks out of these, and then I want to do a t-shirt of some sort. I adore this yarn. I love the Florist collection. I love the sort of speckled effect of the yarn. So I have cast these on. I needed the needles from the Halloween sock to cast these on. These are I'm knitting these for the Equisocks Cowl, which is hosted by Cherie of Ollie and Bella, and I think the co-host might be Becky from Bex Creates, but I'm not certain. She released a really pretty pattern for it, which I have got in my Ravelry library, but I'm not ready to try and do pattern socks yet. So it's just started. I really, really like how this knits up. It is quite a fuchsia pink almost. It's quite a bright pink. The camera's not picking it up accurately, but it is lovely. So that is one work in progress. And then I also have, because I don't know whether or not I like wearing cowls, I also cast on another cowl. I purchased this yarn for socks last January for the Rainbow Sock Chronicles, and it was labelled as a fingering weight. It then knit it more like a sport weight. Then other websites had labelled it as a sport weight. And then when I did some more research, the meterage implies it is definitely a fingering weight. But when I did some more research into the yarn anyway, I discovered it wasn't right for socks. I think the ply wasn't right. So I ripped it back, and the yarn has sat pretty much ever since. So I wanted to just get it used, and I wanted to use it in one item. I bought several different colourways. Some of them I exchanged for. I have some more of this yarn. Let's just say that. I have some more of this yarn. I've got enough to do a sweater or definitely a t-shirt. I hope definitely a t-shirt. And then I've got two more spools in a different colourway that I'm hoping to do probably another cowl and a hat, or a cowl hat and maybe some mittens. I'm not certain. So the pattern is the Sock Head Cowl by, I think, Kelly McClure, and the yarn is Sheepy's Our Tribe. This one is in the heart colourway. I've had a bit of falling out with the yarn, so there's some ends that we'll figure all that out once I've locked it. The yarn is quite pretty. It's very, very soft as well. I find it very splitty, and I also find it's a bit like thick and thin. Like, you know, it's generally quite a nice like width, but then in other places it gets quite, not chunky, but it gets thicker. So like, I don't know how well you'll see, but like somewhere down here, oh God. You see just there, that's like a thicker section of the yarn. So I'm not sure, it's very splitty, so there are some bits where like I've not put holes in, but it's definitely not knitted correctly. But I don't know if I'm going to wear it enough to I don't know. I'm hoping it'd be quite wearable. do like to keep my neck warm. So I'm not sure. I just want to get the yarn knitted up. I just want to try one of these because the Soccer Cowl is really popular, or it certainly has been. So there's not much to say. The yarn's really soft. It feels really nice, but it isn't my. It's not my favourite to knit with. But stay tuned. I may well be knitting some more items out of this yarn at some point. This is also housed. Oh, the needles are. Oh, actually, the needles are interchangeable ChowGoo needles. I am knitting this in a 3.25mm because you don't get as. I think the pattern calls for a 3mm, and you don't get those in the interchangeable set itself. So I did purchase them, but I purchased 5-inch tips, which was just too tricky to knit with on such a small cord. So I've gone my 4-inch tips, and I only had 3.25mm. Either 2.75 or 3.25, and I thought because the yarn's potentially more like a sport weight, I'd rather just go up a needle size. I will pick up some 3mm 4-inch tips at some point, but I'm in no hurry. The item this is housed in another bag by Amelia X Joy. Really pretty. This one is not in stock in her shop. Again, I wrote the show notes last night. It's a teal background with pink and yellow flowers. It's really lovely. This one is in the small size. Yeah, really like that. So that is it for knitting. I will show you some. I'll show you some crochet. So I don't normally crochet. If it's something I wanted to learn to do, and a friend's mum does crochet, and I went round the friend's house, and the mum very kindly said, "Oh, I'll show you some crochet if you want." So I don't know. I think it might be a granny stitch of some sort, but I'm not certain. I crocheted a little heart. I've no idea what I did. It was all just by eye between me and the mum. The yarn is a really pretty sort of lilac-y colour. It's a really pale lilac. It is just some acrylic DK. I don't know what hook size I used. I think it was going to start being a granny square, and then it went a little bit lopsided, but we kept going, just practice. And then I thought, oh, actually, I said, I think we could make this into a heart. Wouldn't it be really cute to make a heart? So that's what we did. I did a chain cord thing that I've done. Got some ends sticking out. But yeah, I'm really proud of that. It's my first proper attempt at crochet. I did try and learn a couple of years ago. I can do the chain, although my tension needs a lot of work. I can do a chain, but I'm not a crocheter. So I'm sure somebody, if anyone watches this, I'm sure somebody who does crochet, I'm sure people that do crochet will understand what I'm trying to say. But like on the hook, so this is the hook, you have 3 loops, and you have to bring this one nearest the hook through and under the other 2. And there's a real knack to doing that, and I just couldn't get the hang of it. I didn't have the patience. But I really want to learn to crochet properly. There's quite a few crochet projects I want to do, including granny squares and granny stripe blankets. So hopefully at some point your crochet will feature more often. I do struggle a little bit because I generally know what I'm going to make out of yarn before I buy it. So, and I have as we established, I don't knit very quickly, don't knit very much. And I have quite a large yarn stash, and unfortunately all the yarn I've got is earmarked for knitting projects at, you know, at some point. I know the one I want to make, I just don't know when I'm going to get around to it. So if I want to crochet, I need to buy new yarn. So I'm not sure, but I'm really pleased with that. I've done a couple of, I think I did try crocheting when I first wanted to learn, and I just couldn't get the hang of it, so I never bothered. You know, I was just using some yarn that I'd already got because I'd not long started to learn. I'd not long started knitting at that point too. But yeah, so that's my first actual item of crochet. I think I'd done a chain before, and I think I had tried to get the hang of like these 3 loops on the hook, but I don't think it got any further than that. And I remember I ripped it out after I kept ripping out the attempts I made. So this is my first crochet thing that I still have. So that is the crochet. I also will discuss knitting. So this is a new finished sewing item. I'm going to just show you. It is a Butterick B6409. I can move that away. Butterick B6409. Sorry, it's crumpled. It's got crumpled while travelling into work. And I've been sat down in it. It's a really nice dress. It's meant to have a belt, like a sewing belt that you put with it, but I generally leave it off. It's a really nice sort of A-line shape. I really like this pattern. It's a favourite pattern of mine. Most of my dresses these days are the Butterick B6409. I don't know if it's still in stock. I couldn't find it apart from on eBay. But it's a really nice, it's high neck, so I can bend over and not flash anything. It's knee length, so again I can bend over. This was just below. I normally add like an inch or so to the length, and because it doesn't have a belt on it either, it's generally quite a nice. Sorry, I've got loads of flippers, the camera's picking it up. It's generally quite a nice dress. I think in a plain fabric like this, it's quite nice. It can be quite classy and grown up, but then it also looks really nice in quite a quirky. I really enjoy quirky print fabrics. It suits those really well too, because the dress is such a simple shape. It lets the fabric sing if it wants to. So I've got quite a few quirky prints to do some more of these in. Lends itself really well to cotton. I have also previously sewn it in viscose, and that's okay. It's very drapey, very nice. That was one of my earlier sewing projects though, so it isn't to my standard now. And I've also knit it in, also sewn it in linen too, and that's pretty. The fabric is just a plain black cotton. I bought it from Annie's Ribbons and Ruffles on Coventry Market. I don't know where she gets her fabric from. It's just a cotton poplin. If you're in the local area, so checking Annie out. I have used some Snow Leopard bias binding that I purchased on Etsy. That will also be linked below. I won't link Annie's Ribbons and Ruffles because I can only find it on Facebook, and I couldn't access the page if I wasn't signed into Facebook, and I don't know whether or not I could link it and it take you just to Annie's page, or whether it takes you to my profile. I don't know. Don't know enough about stuff. So I use bias binding on the hemline, on the neck, and on the arms. You don't need to. You could just bias bind the arms and neck and then just fold over the hem, but I like bias binding, especially. on a plain dress. I know it's there. I know there's a bit of something quirky going on underneath. I have a whole load of fabric at home to do lots more of these. It's a go-to pattern. Most of my dresses are the Butterick B6409, just as preference. I make no modifications. I do sew the larger size, and I don't need to. There's definitely that sort of bra that you can see there. It's definitely too big, and I could size down a couple of sizes, but I actually quite like having it quite loose. If you in the winter, you could wear, you know, those like little thin jersey jumper long sleeve top things that were really popular a couple of years ago. You could wear those and they're like a pinafore, and then in the summer it's nice and breathable. So I really like this pattern. I'm sure there are others that are similar, but this is one I have and this is one I use. And I also went to a painting night. I'm not a painter, but I went to a painting night the other night. It was hosted by a group. They run it sort of in various places around Warwickshire and the West Midlands, I think. And I painted from scratch, all by myself, a cherry blossom, Japanese blossom tree, which was really, really fun, really pretty. I will show you, because I don't trust myself to edit this video now. I will just show you a picture, so I'm hoping you'll see. So that was mine. I made that all by myself. And that's it. Again, I don't have it with me because, as I say, I am away with work. But it was done in acrylic paint. Sort of from just free-handed. It was really fun. I really enjoyed it. It was my first time. I'm not a painter at all. I did a little bit in school when I had to, but didn't enjoy it. But I really enjoyed that. So I'm hoping to do a few more of those sessions as and when the picture strikes my fancy and I'm not working. But I'm actually tempted to take up painting stuff again, but everything comes down to time. Highly recommend it. I used acrylic paint and it was sort of just by sort of freehand, but it was just a blast. It was brilliant. That is, I'm really sorry for all the I am learning as I go. It's really interesting doing podcasts because when you watch yourself back, you realise how many annoying habits you have. I don't think there's anything else to talk about today. So my current work's in progress. I will hopefully have some more sewing to show you next time. Hopefully some more work on socks and some more work on the cowl. I don't know about anything else. That is everything I have to share with you today. Thank you so much for joining me. I am not editing this podcast at all. It's going straight up as is. So you can see me barefaced and completely raw. I do not want to have to refilm this again either, to be honest. Thank you so much for joining me today, and I really hope you have got some knitting done while you've been with me. Thank you so much for your patience. If you're a returning viewer, thank you for your patience and thank you for coming back. If you are a new viewer, thank you for checking me out. This is my second episode. I'm hoping I get a little bit better at this at some point. But it's been great to film. Thank you so much. Bye.